people are going to give the Saints grief for not firing Pete Carmichael fast enough, which like, get out of here. Like, I think that's so dumb.
And I feel like that pressure seems to be growing just because of all the open offensive coordinator jobs that are now open.
Yeah, but if they fired him today, they would be on par with all of those people. Like,
oh, exactly right.
The thing is, like, until the playoffs kind of get going, you don't even know what that picture is going to look like. You want to know who your staff is. Like now they are in a position where people are saying, well, why haven't they fired Pete Carmichael yet? Well, they're trying to evaluate because they want to figure out not only what they have in Pete Carmichael, and even if they've already kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they're going to move on from him, he's got staff under him, right? So what are you doing at, like, wide receivers coach? What about the offensive assistants? What about this and that? Like, he's the guy who knows all the information. He's been working with them. So he's part of that evaluation process. If you fire him, then you're effectively saying, well, we're going to figure this out for ourselves. And that doesn't make sense either. So, like, there is a benefit to doing it amicably and to doing it thoughtfully. And that's what the Saints are doing. Like, I had someone tweet at me this morning with the quote tweeted like, oh, the Bucks fired Byron Leftwich that like 12 hours after they lost to the playoffs. And he was like, this is how you do it. And I was like, oh, yes, the Bucks, the model franchise that we should all aspire to. Get out of here. Like, people are going to tell me that the Bucks are doing it the right way. The Bucks basically handed Tom Brady the keys to the plane. Tom Brady flew it straight up in the air, and he's about to jump out with a parachute. And everyone's going to try to tell you, well, the people that have been in the back, the passengers, they can fly that plane. Like, they cannot fly that plane. It's going to be a disaster. And congratulations, you had one really good season, one season, and one bad season that ended up in the playoffs in a blowout. And now you are going to crash and burn, and you're going to be bad for a long freaking time. And so, like, this is example of a model franchise. That's the example of a franchise that's just like going where the wind blows them. And the Saints aren't doing that. And so I'm not going to blame a team for doing that.
No, and the general reaction from everybody is obviously for everything. It seems to be fire them, move on, cancel, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if these defensive moves could affect even. Would you want to keep a coach like Carmichael around just because there is that quote unquote continuity of somebody that's familiar with the Saints way of doing things? If you end up losing both, Richard and Nielsen. So there's a lot of things that still obviously we're waiting for to unfold. It's just amazing of how much interest in the NFC South. I mean, do we see the Buccaneers get involved at all in this Sean Payton, experiment? Do you think that could be a possibility? Would be interesting to see if they would want to target Sean at all. But no, I mean, Brady's leaving, so that maybe not over there.
It sounds like they were ready to fire Byron Leftwich midseason. And again, and it's another example of like one of the reasons the Saints can be thoughtful and take their time is because it's not a toxic situation.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure you could say it probably was for the Bucks, right?
Sure,
like you don't fire your offensive coordinator hours after the season ends and say like, oh, it was fine until like 8 p.m. last night and then it all went to shit. No, the writing has been on the wall there for a while, and he knows that. The players know that. The other coaches know that. The front office knows that. And so like the ability to just say, hey guys, let's take a breath. Let's come back next week and we're going to work it all out. People say that's lazy. Like, no, it's not. Lazy is the other way.
You want the
doing more work is not lazy. I don't know. It's just stupid. People just like to complain.
It does feel like though that I think it would appear that the Saints would make a change at offensive coordinator. I'm not saying that Carmichael is safe. I guess folks are just wanting the hatchet already, to come down kind of thing, to reassure them that we're not going to go through the same offensive pain next year.
Yes, I think that's what it is. It's like people are equating not doing it immediately with not doing it at all. Yeah. Now, they decided to keep him. Then I would be just as critical as everybody else. But I'm not going to jump over a barrel to be like, how dare they not fire this guy instantly? Like, he's been on the team for 17 years. You don't think this is maybe an emotional situation for everyone involved? Like, I mean, come on. And so like again, like I think they will move on from him, but who knows? I don't think he really wanted to be the offensive coordinator at all. Maybe he does want to stick around in a different role. Right?
Pete unfortunately had to talk to us every week.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
There was no co-offensive coordinator.
I assure you, he dreaded that. Every time he was walking out there, like, God damn it, I have to do it again. I never have to do this one. Like, he would go entire seasons without talking to us.
Absolutely.
Like, he would talk to us like one time during training camp, and then that's it.
And the draft. and that was it.
No difficult questions. The offense could have been terrible, and no one would ever mentioned his name. Oh, dream job, right?
No, to me, the biggest one this year, and I think we all felt bad for him. Thursday in London, whatchamacallit, Jameis Winston's supposed to practice. That, of course, is the day that Dennis Allen does not speak. So yeah. Carmichael's just left there dangling at the podium all by himself trying to explain the thing.
Yeah, poor guy. Never had a chance.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Yeah. But all right, yeah.